Hello, 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 hello. This is Amin Mohammed and I welcome you to yet another episode of It's Your Turn to Speak here on DTC Official. In the previous episode, I made you aware that we are going to talk about how to give impromptu speeches. So yes, this is a situation that I have been in as a public speaker on several occasions, and so that qualifies me to give you a personal experience of how I go about my impromptu speeches. Just last week, my president was out of the country and he told me to represent him at an event. I got to the event and all of a sudden they just told me, since I'm representing the president, I'm supposed to give a speech on behalf of my president. This is an impromptu speech. How do I go about it? Let's delve in. Yes, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, make sure you subscribe to this channel. And hey, I would love to read your comments in the sections below. Like this video and share it with your audience. Thank you very much for sharing. Let's get going. What is an impromptu speech? Or how does an impromptu speech comes about? Sometimes you may have attended an event, a business meeting, parties, engagements, social events, whatever. Or even when you are talking to your partner, your boyfriend or your girlfriend, and he or she goes like, "I'm sad, can you tell me a story that will uplift my soul?" All these are forms of impromptu speeches. So long as you are not aware and it is coming at you at a particular instant, you must think deep to deliver the speech. And so how do you go about it? What I want to tell you, my recommendation in the first place, is that if you hold a certain position in a particular society, if you have a certain type of recognition in a particular domain, be ready for all these kind of situations, because it may happen to you at any point in time, at every event. After being always prepared, understand that when it happens, the first thing you need to do is to study the situation. You study the environment in which you are situated, and then it gives you a setting, it gives you a pace, it gives you a keyword, it gives you an idea of how the speech should be. So always, whenever you encounter such a situation to give an impromptu speech, just cast your mind across the environment, and then you hit the road. Pow. But before that, let's look at some of the impromptu speeches that may come your way. Number one is the hypothetical or situational. That will demand your personal experience, or you can borrow the experience of others. Or that is the hypothetical one. Or it will demand your logical thinking. Your logical thinking. It may come with a logical question and you will have to think deep to answer these questions. Or the personal speeches, where you just have to stress on your abilities. You need to put your abilities together to give a speech, or you need to rely on your past experience. So yes, let's imagine you have gone to an event and you are being called upon to give an impromptu speech within a space of 2 minutes. How do you go about it? First, remember, the panic attack will come. Yes, even if you have prepared going to speak, remember, speakers always feel the fear, but they just do away with it. So yes, just as every speaker, the panic attack will come, but it is your responsibility to know that, hey, you are being called upon to give this speech because you are in the domain. Understand that. So yes, the first thing you need to do is to check for keywords. Check for keywords at the event. Check for keywords in the situation. So you can refresh your mind throughout the event. Some of the keywords that have come, I remember when Blue Crest, I was representing my president at the Blue Crest. I got to the event and I realized I needed to give a speech. And then I quickly had to put myself together. It was an entrepreneurial event, and so I need to use myself as an example. And then I checked the keywords capital for entrepreneurship, after capital, discipline, and after discipline, I realized that commitment and dedication. I put this together and I shared my story to them. So you need a keyword. After your keyword, checking for the keywords to prepare your speech, you need to buy time. When you are called upon to give your speech, and then you start putting together the keywords, you need to buy time. So you might take your time to walk up to the stage whilst you ideate on what you are going to say.
Thank you very much. Yes. Assalamu alaikum. Pardon me, I speak for a living. And so, since Friday till yesterday, it's been all about speaking. That is why I've lost my voice. But from here, I would be doing more of ginger and vitamin C to see if I can regain my voice for the next activities with you tomorrow, inshallah. All right, so my name is Amin Mohammed. I'm a transformational trainer, a public speaker, and I'm a neuro-linguistic programmer. In fact, a master practitioner. This thing will limit me. I don't like standing at one place when I'm delivering, but I'll try. So basically what I do is that I help transform people from where they are to where they want to be.
Upon arrival on the stage, you can still buy time by greeting your audience slowly and gentle. Again, you smile at your audience. You can repeat the question. After repeating the question, if it was a question, you can repeat the question. As you repeat the question, you highlight the key words in the question. All these are situations to help you buy time to prepare your speech. Once you're able to buy time, then you brainstorm. That is your brainstorming ideas. And so this is how you must divide your time when you are giving an impromptu speech. For 2 minutes, first 30 seconds for introduction, 1 minute, 60 seconds, 1 minute. That is 60 seconds for the body and 30 seconds for the conclusion. You must be smart, quick, and elegant enough. Yes, that is very, 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 very necessary. So as you brainstorm to tell your story or give your speech, you can brainstorm to connect a story to the particular situation in which you find yourself. So you can visit your books, you can borrow stories from your books you have read, your past experience, your childhood, from a story you can borrow from a friend's knowledge you know. You can borrow from movies and every form. So how do you go about the speech? After you have buy time, you have refreshed on the keywords, you are about to tell your story or give your speech, how do you go about it? This is where the situation comes in. And so I'm here to bring to you 5 ways you can give the speech. Number 1 is the PPF, that is the past, present, and the future. You can rely on your past experience, start from your past experience to your present, and then you zoom into the future in the conclusion. So when you are giving the speech, you start from your past experience, you connect it to your present, and then you zoom it into your future in the conclusion part. That is the first part. The second aspect is the problems and solution. And so you can state a problem, you can reflect on a problem, the cause of the problem, then you state the effect of the problem, and then you zoom into the solution and you connect its implication in the conclusion aspect. Again, we have the pros and cons. We have the pros and cons. So where you start with the advantages of the particular story you want to share. You connect the advantages. You state 2 or 3 advantages. You compare it with 2 or 3 disadvantages, and then you give your recommendations in the conclusion part. Or you can choose to go the prep way. That is, you raise a point, you give a reason to the point, you connect an example to the point and reason you have given, and then you state your point in the conclusion. And last but not least, the storytelling. The storytelling, where you start with the why, you start with the what, you can continue with the why, and then the when, the who, and the where, and then you conclude with the how. You conclude with the how. So, during my days campaigning for my Nooks portfolio, and I attended the Ghana Union of Professional Studies, Professional Students event, and all of a sudden, all we heard was, all right, every aspirant should come on board. We give you we are giving you 2 minutes to share your details, your campaign message with us. Listen, I was an aspirant, so since I was going there to campaign. I got to the venue, refreshed my mind, did everything. All aspirants started talking, and I was the last one. Whilst I was standing there, I realized that people were angry with the term politics. People didn't want to hear the term politics because a particular man has, a particular man has really destroyed the political aspect of student leadership. And so these students weren't going in for anybody who will come there as a student politician. So this is how I went with my speech. I started with, I understand you guys are politicians. But listen, I'm not a student politician. I am just a farmer. I am a farmer who is cultivating my promises to you. Vote for me, and you shall harvest the results of my promises. Help me farm the right way, and our student leadership will be at the right center of development. This is simply what I said. After that particular day, anywhere I go, where there is a particular person who was that day in the audience, hello, Mr. Farmer, and that is it. Everybody sees me and they go with Farmer. Remember, it was an impromptu speech. Although I had prepared, I knew I was going to campaign. That is why I recommended to you that, hey, you need to be always ready. And how do you always get ready? Start reading. You need to always read out wide, watch TED Talks, watch inspirational and motivational movies, watch documentaries. Pick meaning from every little situation you find yourself, because one day you will be needing that particular situation at a particular speech. This is Amin Mohammed and I, something like that. This is Amin Mohammed. Thank you for watching.